listening to Hungry for More, an Epicurean's Dilemma, and I'm your host, Trish Glose. Cocktails and Sam Block, my favorite way to spend an hour. She is brilliant on TikTok. She has more than 64,000 followers. You may have seen some of her videos on America's Test Kitchen where she works. Today, I got to learn about all the new things happening in her world. We chatted favorite cocktails, one of her favorite dishes that she's recently made, and then I learned all of the things in her pantry she simply can't live without. Really, though, we had so much fun, lots of laughs, some serious moments. I can't really describe for you exactly what we talked about. That is a good interview. Here's Sam Block. How are you? How have you been?
I'm good. It's so good to see you again. My goodness.
It's good to see you again as well. Cheers. Do you have your cocktail? Yes.
I'm very excited to tell you about this. It's for you. It's basically for you.
This is so awesome. Last time we talked, when I emailed you, I was like, hi, do you remember me? We got a little drunk and talked about vanilla.
Yes. Despite the crazy day full of vodka and cranberry or pomegranate juice, I think it was that I had before.
Yeah, that was last December we chatted.
That's nuts. I was just thinking, I think it was like about a year ago that we spoke to each other last. So
there was a time change because I remember about 45 minutes into the interview, it was like getting dark outside.
It's like in a cave by the end of it.
So cheers, Sam Block.
Cheers. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you. Thanks for saying yes again to the podcast. Please tell me what you're drinking and then I'll tell you what I'm drinking.
Okay. So as I mentioned before, this is a big thanks to you from last year. This cocktail, this is an America's Test Kitchen recipe, subtle plug, but it's called alcachofa, which is Spanish for artichoke. Because this has reposado, chinar, and sweet vermouth, and the brim of this glass is rimmed with sugar, chipotle chili powder, and a little bit of smoked paprika.
Whoa! I love chinar so much. Another one you have to try, which we talked about, was china, and it's kind of that amaro. But is this recipe on somewhere where I can find it?
It's right on the website, but I can also just I wrote it down because I have a horrible memory. So it is 2 ounces of reposado, 3/4 ounce of chinar, and 1/4 ounce of sweet vermouth.
Fantastic. And is that bad boy shaken or stirred?
I shook it because I like extra chill on it, but I'm sure you could stir it too. I got it. We have this equipment giveaway each Christmas time, which we can talk about later on, but I got this clear ice maker and I didn't open it until about a week ago and I screwed it up. So I have it's not a full sphere, it's like a half moon. So just don't look at my ice cube is basically what I'm saying.
Clear ice is a thing.
Sure is.
For
it's a whole thing.
Those cocktail connoisseurs, clear ice is a thing. We went to this fabulous bar in Las Vegas a while ago, and the ice, they told us, was about $1.25 per ginormous cube, right? But I'm like, man, that's worth it. It's so pretty.
I can see everything through it. It's amazing.
All the bullshit you can see right through it.
Well, in my defense, well, actually, no, this isn't defensive. It's actually just making me sound worse. I didn't read any of the directions. I just looked at this gadget and I filled it with water. I didn't temp the water. And so it's my own fault, but it's there. And so you just got to roll with it.
You do. You really do. In all things drink making and cooking, you really do have to roll with it. This is a French 75.
Oh.
Classic, right? Classic.
Love.
Gin, lemon juice, simple syrup, bubbles. And I had to look this up. This is according to Bon Appetit. But this dates back to World War I. Head bartender at French 75 bar in New Orleans. And so it's super famous and it's old. And here we go.
Hopefully the bubbles were opened sooner than that long ago. So you should.
Yes. So I love chatting with you on my podcast because we can drink cocktails.
Yep. I know.
And
I think I mentioned last time, like every podcast I do, I intend to do this. And you are now my first and second podcast. So we are
boom.
just getting after it.
I love it. Can I plug the gin that I used? It's
please.
I actually had them on my podcast, and it's not only good, but the company is absolutely amazing. It's Ogden's own distillery. This is Madame Paterini Gin, batch 71. It's bottle 1,233. Small batch gin right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Super cool. Yeah, super cool. It's a distillery, only the second distillery in Utah after Prohibition. And Madame Paterini, also known as Brigham Morris Young. Yes. As in Brigham Young. 35th child of Brigham Young right here.
No way.
After returning from a second church mission in Hawaii, Morris Young performed and sang all over Utah as a woman. Crossdresser right here. Crossdresser. Yep.
Okay. You know what? Just when I thought Brigham Young couldn't surprise me anymore. That's incredible.
Yeah. It's a really cool company.
The bottle was giving me like Harry Potter vibes for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
In a good way.
There's potion in there. There's potion in there. Okay. So if, people probably saw you on my podcast, of course, or you could just be recognizable because you have 64,000 followers on TikTok. No big deal. But the last time I interviewed you, you're still working for America's Test Kitchen.
Yes.
But your job has changed a little bit, right?
Yes.
What are you doing these days?
It sure has. So I believe when I saw you last year, I was just getting into this new title that's called Digital Test Cook. And essentially my job is we're really trying to expand our clientele, if you will. We're doing a wonderful job in transforming a lot of we're adding new shows, new series. We're a lot bigger on social media these days. And so that's sort of where my role begins. So I am writing articles each week for the website, but I'm also predominantly doing TikToks and Instagram videos for them, whether it's showing you a fun kitchen hack or occasionally I'm developing a recipe myself, which is like, okay, so the Choco Taco went night, like what can we come up with a quick way that someone can make it at home? So in 2 weeks time, I'll just like go ham in the kitchen, figure out a way that someone would not only want to make it, but how easy it could be to make, and give them the recipe and do a video as to how to do it. So it's a lot of video work now, which is very exciting. And yeah, that's sort of the gist of it. They sort of made up this title for me, which I'm honored. But like, awesome. I remember I was trying to change my job title on LinkedIn, and they were like, digital what now? And I was like, yeah, it doesn't exist, but I have it, so I own it, and here we are.
That's awesome, because I think, did America's Test Kitchen kind of see the success from your TikTok channel? Because the videos that I've seen, it is Sam Block, but it's the apron, right? You're wearing the America's Test Kitchen apron, but it's still the same format. For
sure, yes. I prior to this job, we did this campaign for Cooking for One, which is one of my favorite books ever. But I was doing some very not great videos for them that was promoting recipes from that book. But I guess they saw something that they liked in my charisma or whatever. And so that just sort of escalated into this position where also I could do it from home, which is incredible because I ideally, after I moved home during COVID, did not want to move back up to Boston. So, it really has just been a wonderful win all around.
I love that. Great. You are a new homeowner, though.
I am. Welcome to my office with a whole lot of nothing, but it's great. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Well, the best things, I think, start fresh, clean, right? And then you get to build your own space.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
That's awesome. So also your followers on TikTok have also grown since we've last chatted. I think back in December, they were at, I don't know, 40 something thousand. Now it's 64. But I think the format not changing was this sense of familiarity with a lot of people, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to hope so, and
Mm-hmm.
for sure. I mean, I was really grateful to be able to capture both the semi-professional look of America's Test Kitchen with the apron and the the logistics behind the videos versus the more playful side of Sam. And it seems to be playing out well on both sides, which I uh, feel grateful for sure. So yeah, it's really nice to balance that out a little bit. So I'm not making cocktails every day. That would not end well for anybody. So
I was going to ask you when it comes to social media. I mean, America's Test Kitchen, yes, it makes sense that you would plan out content, maybe not. Do you plan out
mhm.
content for both your stuff and ATK?
When it comes to the BAMSLOC personal things, I probably should plan it out a little bit better than I do, but I will usually just figure out what I'm in the mood to make
Yeah.
that day. I previously made a video that I was trying to switch it up a little bit. I mean, I really love that I have such a kind following, but I also uh, feel like it's fun to experiment and see what works and see what doesn't. So I did at one point make a video that asked my followers or whatever what cocktails they would like to see
Mm-hmm.
me make, and the feedback was overwhelming. I went through like notepad after notepad of things that people were interested in, either giving me recipes or just things that I hadn't yet tried. So that's sort of the path that I'm taking now, but for sure with America's Test Kitchen, it's at least I know a week in advance what's to be expected to be filmed and edited and sent to them for their social media platform.
Yeah. I find that when you do plan stuff out, it can go both ways, right? You're a little bit more prepared, but then also it's a little more like robotic.
Yes, agreed. And I also, I appreciate all the feedback, but I still want to be passionate about it. I feel like you can see that in somebody when they're
Mm-hmm.
performing, whether they are doing it because they just want to get through it or if they really want to try it. So if it excites me, I'm willing to give it a go. That's sort of my motto.
I
Put that in.
agree. Well, if you're not interested in it, I mean, who
I know. It's a snooze fest.
you get total snooze fest. Speaking of, you have all of these followers. I was super curious. I'm getting ready for this morning, and I was like, I wonder if she gets super creepy emails. You do, don't you?
Let me just take a sip.
People want to see your
Mhm.
feet, don't they?
Yeah, they want to see some stuff for sure. I I'm very flattered by these humans. I will. I have for sure. I'll be the first to delete a comment if it's just ridiculously inappropriate
Yeah.
or just asking, whatever
Yeah.
what you were saying. I let a lot of the kind comments from I don't want to even like stereotype it, but I kind of have like a following of older men. Which is really sweet. But yeah, I get stuff all the time, and the thing is, my parents are watching all my videos
For
there, and
sure.
I've decided for the sake of my mentality, I'll read almost all of the comments on BAMSLOC. I will not read comments on America's Test Kitchen, because I've done that too many times, and it can be rough out there. People are just mean, and
Mm-hmm.
sadly though, however, if I miss something that came out to be mean, my dad's like, did you see that comment, blah, 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 blah? And I'm like, nope. I don't, and
Yeah.
I don't want to look at it. It's fine, people are going to be mean no matter what. So yeah, there's creepy, there's mean, there's very, but mostly I will say the majority of the comments are very sweet and uh complimentary, or just, you brought a smile to my face today. And like that's the whole reason why I enjoy doing it. So
Absolutely. Sometimes I feel like the negative ones do tend to stick a little bit more than the positive ones, which is unfortunate. You know, as you know, 19 years in the TV biz, and I don't know. I think people are the worst to TV journalists, like absolutely
yeah.
the worst. And I've heard it all. I've heard the good, the bad, and the ugly. And, you know, the journalism side of me is like, I'm not going to delete any comments because that's censorship, right? I got to the point though where I'm like, man, we don't need to spread hate and negativity, especially
For
when it's
sure.
geared towards me. Like, no, thank you.
There was speaking of that, there was recently someone who did comment on one of my videos that said something like, uh you're trying too hard to be awkward, but you're really just very annoying. And it was like in all caps. And I just honestly, that doesn't even offend me. I don't know why. I just that
Right.
Well, like, it doesn't even affect me. But what was so cute was like there are like 4 or 5 people that wrote to this guy or woman or whoever they were, and just were like defending me.
Yeah.
They were like, how could you just sit there and say this to somebody, or
Mm-hmm.
things like that. I think I actually wrote back to that person and I said thank you with an exclamation point, because like I think they deserve to be called out for just why did you what did
Yeah.
you think was going to solve this? And you know what? You're right. I am annoying. And, I'm just going to, that's it. Goodbye.
Yeah.
One person made me.
Hey, I'm annoying and obnoxious and I own every second of it, but you can only be your true genuine self. I think Sean Hayes, actor Sean Hayes from Will and Grace, Jack,
Yeah.
his Instagram, he would get some negative comments and he would reply to all of them, thank you with a heart to all negative, right? So I started doing
It's
that. Yeah.
great.
Maybe the kissy
It's
emoji. What's that? Sorry.
sorry. I think it's the best thing you can do.
Hmm. I like to add in the kissy emoji because it's just slightly passive aggressive. Let's be real.
Slightly, just a little.
But no,
Maybe if,
I've heard all the negative stuff and it just has taught me that I will never do that on social media. There's a difference between constructive criticism and just flat out mean. I did have
yes.
an email, a viewer a long time ago who said, Trish Close, so he didn't know my name. He said, I can't understand you. You enunciate too good.
Um,
I was like, thank you.
so I enunciate too good. That's really complimentary.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Kissy
sir.
face.
Yeah.
One
So,
time I did, I did a video for America's Test Kitchen on a YouTube series a couple years ago. That was the program was called Perfectly Seasonal, and I made this like artichoke lemon ravioli video. And someone said, "I don't trust anybody with fake teeth like that."
what?
So I just screenshotted it and sent it to my group of friends on the internet, or on our group
Yeah.
chat. I don't even have words. My fake teeth,
All right. So fake. Part of
So
me, it does make me angry, but at the same time, you and I are putting ourselves out there, and
sure.
this is what comes at you when you put yourself out there in that way, and you have to have a thick skin, and you have to let things roll off, and just kind of move on. My husband is the same way though. He'll read a negative comment. He's like, who? And he's like looking them up, and I'm like, what? I'm like, they're in the Middle East. Like, relax. Like, you're not gonna go fight them. I did notice you were in the kitchen recently with one Julia Collin Davidson.
I sure was. That was a wonderful experience. After this digital test cook position started to go relatively well, Jack Bishop reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in being a part of the TV show. And I was like, let me think about it. I was like, of course, that it was a wonderful opportunity. And so it was a long process for sure. This was probably back in the springtime that this offer was on the table, and we wrote our own scripts. We got to go to script meetings. We got to, we went to rehearsal, and um, I was given 2 episodes. It was me and I believe 5 other new employees got to be a part of this new cast because they're just expanding all the time, which is really, really cool. And so I filmed 2 episodes with Julia, and yeah, it was scary.
Why was it scary? Like,
I mean, like when I'm doing my own videos in my house, it's just me. I'm in full control. No one else is looking at me. No one else. I can say this same stupid thing 15 times until I feel like it's how I want it to be. But now I'm not only speaking to another wonderful human, but there are 17 cameras in your face, and it was hysterical to me. It was a whole different kind of nervousness, I guess is the best way to describe it, where I felt like sometimes the knowledge that I've had about food and words was just like gone for a hot second. And I at one point I was chopping a bell pepper, and another interesting thing about TV, I learned so much in that week on set, was just how there are times when you don't have to talk. Like I'm so used to, I guess, from like performing on the cruise ships the culinary presentations, I was talking the whole time because you're trying to keep everybody engaged. This is different. This gets cut and edited and like mishmash. So like you could just sit there and chop in silence with 40 people staring at you, and you don't just yeah, just zip it. Right. I'm like, this is a bell pepper. They're like, yeah, we know. You don't have to, just keep going. It's good. But after I got through the first few takes and I, shook the nerves out, I ended up having a great time. And Julia was incredibly supportive and so helpful throughout the whole process. So I was very excited to do that.
She strikes me as just one of the coolest humans, no nonsense whatsoever, does not take herself seriously at all.
Absolutely. And Bridget was supposed to be on set with us that whole week as well, but unfortunately she got COVID right before we were about to film. And you know what Julia did? She said, I got this. And she ended up doubling her work and was on set every single day from 6 a.m. to, I don't know, 8 p.m. with whomever she was doing the show with. Awesome. And smile on her face. Like she is a rock star for sure.
It's funny with the TV thing, I used to shoot all my own stuff. I did everything myself. I was always out in the field. It was just me, kind of that multimedia journalist, MMJ. You're just out there on your own. If I ever did get a photog, and so now I'm working with someone else, I would always be like, did you get that? Did you get that? Did you get that?
Yeah.
And they're just like wanting to strangle me, because when it is just you are in control. You have all of the control. And then when you're around other people, so you have this crew, you're like, are you on this? Are you getting this?
I totally agree. Yeah, right. I know. And they're like, we are with like $7,000 cameras right now, Sam. We're good. They were so sweet. Everyone, the whole room was just extremely, extremely supportive, which was very helpful. But they more or less said to me, Sam, remember that we're going to make you look as good as, like, it doesn't matter about the stuttering and this is 3/4 of a teaspoon, not a half a teaspoon, everything. Just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
And they even hooked me up with a fantastic acting coach, which I've never thought in my life I would get to experience chatting with. And she was fantastic and just did like some, not breathing exercises necessarily, but just like reassuring statements to tell yourself when you can feel the tingles in your chest and the heat in your face and all those things. So yeah, they did everything they could to make it run as smoothly as possible.
That's such a cool experience. Is there going to be more of that, you think?
Well, Julia said, I can't wait to do it again. So maybe she was being nice.
You wrote that down and made her sign it. Cool. Here, Sign this.
Exactly. Can you let me get my phone recording. Can you just say that one more time? Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. And I'm actually not even sure when the episodes air. I want to say May. But I will let you know when that is going to be
Please.
able to be viewed because I'm excited. So
Well, you should be excited. And you have fans. You have a lot of fans, obviously. Talking about some of the positive comments and negative comments, just some of the comments on our podcast that you can see on my YouTube channel, everyone, from last December. Okay, these are straight quotes. This woman's clips are the best thing to happen on ATK's site in years. More, please.
oh my God.
Isn't that so sweet?
Oh, it makes my heart really happy. That's
Okay.
so sweet.
I saved another. Here's another one. This one's really good.
Creepy one.
Sam's a TikTok star, future rom-com actress, Netflix cooking show, which I'm voting for, and Saturday Night Live host.
That's quite the quite the roller coaster of titles. Dang. Wow. That is so, you know what? I'll send feet pics all day if that gets me those comments.
You can make a really good living showing off your feet.
I heard, yeah.
Not judging. Whatever rocks your boat. Go for it. That's great.
Oh man, that's so sweet. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. Because again, you never know when you see you have one new comment. I'm like, ugh. No, I thought these were super sweet, so I wanted to share. Well, congratulations on all the success.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I feel like when I've gotten so much knowledge from these interviews, honestly, like so much good stuff from people. And one thing that someone told me once was, she was looking at Instagram or social media going, why are all these people successful? And she's like, I'm just sitting here. I need to go get it, right? I need to go do the things. And I feel like you've been doing the things from the cruise ship when you were working on the cruise line to ATK. Like you've just really been putting it all out there.
That's very sweet of you to say. I've always had a solid work ethic. I mean, my parents worked really hard to get to where they were and are. But I think that the quintessential thing that I've always told myself, which fingers crossed has not changed, is don't expect anything from anybody. And I think there's something to be said. I have a friend who I used to do cruise ships with, and a couple years back she ended up starting a TikTok page that was sort of like she now is married to an engineer on ships, and so her niche was a wife on board on a cruise ship, and she would like walk you through what she would eat during the day, all the different places that they travel to. And after like 2 solid years, she ended up with over 100,000 followers. And she just had this like very inspirational post on Facebook that was like, she really never focused on the following. She just kept doing it. And I think that gradual growth is so much more beneficial to a human being than waking up and being like, holy shit, 1 million people saw this video. Like I wouldn't even know what to do with that, mentally speaking. So it's been a gradual, it's been a slow growth, but it's still growing. And so that makes me feel like it's worth still going after it each and every day for both ATK and my stuff. So
I love that so much. Another little nugget of wisdom is the fastest way to get to where you want to be is basically slow, or the best way to get to where you want to be is moving slow. And when you get to the top of one mountain, it really is the bottom of the next. So just keep climbing, right? That's Andre DeShields. That's Andre DeShields, everybody. Those are not mine. No, but no, I just love that. And it's this idea of because I have my moments where I'm just like, I haven't heard back from people who I want on the podcast, or maybe this little project I wanted to work on fell through. And I'm like, am I a failure? Am I doing the wrong thing? And then you have those moments that lift you up. And so I have to remind myself that gradual, right? That gradual building is the way to go.
Absolutely. And you're not alone with those feelings. I go through it regularly myself. It's all, I can sit here and be like, this has all been such a joy and a pleasure. And there's definitely been times where I'll either second guess something that I post, or it's just not going the way that I hoped it would. And it's so out of our hands to an extent, I feel like. And things do better than others, and it's a pain in the ass when like you work 5 hours on a video that doesn't do great, or then you post one that took 40 minutes and it does super well. And you question whether or not it's I'm blessed with 60,000 followers now, but it's a very slow progression.
Sure.
I've seen people grow super fast, but then when it's because they're like half naked and or just doing something that is currently trending, like they just hit that algorithm right at the right
Yeah.
time. And so you just definitely have to sit down and remind yourself, like, you are doing okay, and just keep it up. You're not banned from anything. You're enjoying what you're doing. So I also I think it's just good to enjoy the gradual shift while it's happening, and live in the moment of that, as opposed to once you are trying to just simply achieve success, then your work ethic plummets, I would imagine. I
Yeah.
think I don't
I
that's
also I also like the idea too that, and you're in this boat where there is an element of entertainment, yes, but there's also some sort of there's an output from us, right? Like people are learning things from you, whether it's you don't like the taste of Pappy Van Winkle, for instance, or or recipes or whatever, and sharing, I'm sharing interviews with people. I do feel like as long as you're putting out content that you feel good about, kind of going back to
yeah.
what you were saying about being half naked or whatever, or doing sort of like silly trendy things. To me, when you're putting out content that you're like, I can put my Trish stamp on this, I can put my Sam stamp on this, I feel good, I'm good.
Right. That's really important to me, is to have earned it because it's a Sam Block thing and not from someone else's thing. Don't get me wrong. I will like and laugh and
Mm-hmm.
scroll away with all the funny shit that people are doing on
Yep.
on the TikTok. I just feel like at this point it's not, that doesn't seem like anything I'd want to do. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just not going to do it. And yeah, just sticking to that, just sticking to that
No,
sentence.
I agree. I'm right there with you. I am entertained by all of that stuff as well. It's just not, it doesn't fit me. It doesn't fit what I want to
Right.
do. I mean,
Right. It's not a piece in this
right.
nightmare of a puzzle.
Exactly. I feel silly enough getting in front of my iPhone and my ring light and cooking, and I'm like, ugh. So anything beyond that, I can't. I just can't. I can't do it.
I know. This is where it ends. You are you're going to see me Lizzo dancing. Even though I will say the Lizzo, the Are You Ready dance, like I was definitely doing that in my room in the mirror just to make sure, confirm that I
Yeah.
could do it. Uh, did I film it? No. No one needs to see that. That's for me and myself and I, uh, alone forever. Yeah.
That's your alone time. It's my alone time. Um, well, you're not going to get any judgment from me. I do a lot of weird things in front of the mirror, and I just realized how that sounded when I said it out loud.
No, please elaborate. I
I
want to hear more.
I go back to being 8 years old with a hairbrush and singing Whitney Houston, which I did all the time in front of the mirror.
Mhm.
When I got the TV job, I would read scripts in front of the mirror to make sure nothing weird was happening on my face. So I
Great.
fully support doing things like that in the mirror just to see what you look like.
Yes, for sure. And something that was, speaking of that, we had a rehearsal on set before I was on TV with Julia, and they filmed it. And then following up with that, uh, we had a meeting with the acting coach and the director, and it was like, here's what you're doing. This is your tick. This is what you keep going back to, or just stop doing this. But it was just like, it was very helpful and eye-opening to when, to see what other people are seeing when you're not in your full element, I guess is the best
Yeah.
aura.
Do you have a tick?
Well, it's probably as I'm saying that now. But what we would the transition from scene to scene, I would say, okay, so here we have, okay, like we get it. Just stop, stop, stop. And a really good tactic is to just say, Julia, this is just what happened. Here's what we're doing now.
That is
And
good.
so okay, that's just a little bit. And like I said, Julia, at one point I thought I was coming in hot, like in a good way, and it was not. And she looked at me and she was just like under her breath, so softly, she was just like, relax, relax, relax. And then that just hearing her say that really was like, okay, you are going too hard.
Yeah.
This is awkward and uncomfortable. And as soon as she said that, I was like, okay, it's okay. And then, into, do you have, I would love to know if you had tics that you, when you were journalisming, that's not a word.
I was journalisming. Yeah. The good old days of TV news and journalism. Yes. I used to host a little cooking show, and I would the same stuff. I would say like, all right, after every transition. All right, we've just done this. All right, this is so bad. In interviews, when you're interviewing people, because your voice isn't necessarily heard, it's just sound bites that you clip from them. And to get them to like feel good about what they've just said, you tend to be like, awesome, perfect, awesome, perfect. That was perfect. And so then in real life, I would say perfect and awesome. And I'm like, is it really perfect? Is it really awesome? It's not.
It takes meaning out of the word when you say it so much. I've been there so many times.
Yes. And then in live shots, I would tend to bounce on my heels. So, I'm just talking about some murder that happened in this neighborhood, and I'm bouncing away just like this, just bouncing.
That's not a bounce-worthy topic. Speaking of that, though, I'm a bouncy person, and
you do bounce. You do bounce
so hard, and I to the point where I never realized I did. And someone was like, "Does she have to pee?" I was like, "Oh my God, I do look like I have to pee. I look like I can't wait to get off camera to go pee." And so like I would just like pretend that have like a double-sided tape under my shoes on the ground, just like stay put, Sam. It's okay. So it's something I'm working on. It's my bounce.
Yeah. I mean, you along with most TV reporters, a lot of them bounce or just they do this, and especially like microphone sometimes that they have the microphone in front of them and then they're like, and then over here we were doing this and then they come back and it's like, if the microphone doesn't travel with you, no one can hear what you're saying.
I have a question. So what I'd love to know your feedback on this. When you're out reporting, are you just holding the microphone with one hand? And if so, did you have a problem with like what to do with this other one? Or was it just like you kept it by your side?
Yeah, it's I always, because I'm a professional, I always had my scripts in my other hand. So always. Or a lot of times you'll see reporters, especially now, they have their phones in their hand because their scripts are on their phone.
Oh, okay.
So you'll see that. But if if it was like breaking news and I didn't have a script and I was thrown out in the field, my other hand, I would always talk with it, always, because it's not natural for me to have it by my side.
Yeah, stiff and like
it's not
robotic
natural.
That. Yeah.
And there's reporters out there. One of them is David Begnaud, and he's on CBS. And whenever he's in a live shot, he owns his space. He just commands the space that he's in, and he uses his hands, and he points, and he walks, and he's such a good storyteller. But I would always tell reporters that, like, if it's not natural for you, like, you don't want to do the Ricky Bobby thing, like.
Reporting live.
Exactly. But do what's natural for you within reason. Like,
Mhm.
you don't want crazy eyebrows all over the place, and you don't want like to be like Italian mother kind of like doing this.
You don't want to scare the viewers with
Right.
your crass behavior. Yeah,
Yeah. But it's true. And again, seriously, the mirror works wonders for that, because you can see your tics and you can
definitely.
see kind of what you're doing and how ridiculous you may look.
Yeah, yeah. I've done some mouth things that I never knew I used to do
Ooh.
until I just like I can't even like describe it. It's when I'm thinking about it. Of course, it doesn't happen that it happens when I'm not thinking about it. But like, there's like a Elvis lip thing that was. I was, and what is happening to your face? But it's really good to recognize those things and not
Sure.
hide in a sewer.
I like when you said I do mouth things. I'm already going like what?
Yeah, your response was very appreciative. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I don't do them either. It's so weird. Yeah.
I get it. I get it. The other thing I learned very quickly, and we will get off this topic soon.
I know. I love the topic.
The word like, that was a really hard habit to break.
I was there for my mom. I was gonna say beat that out of me, but that's so not true. She just made me she just made me recognize how annoying it was. So I got out of that. She I was very happy that she pointed that out to me. I think I was probably like 16 or 17, and everything was so like this guy like texted me and like and she's like, do you have an actual sentence that's not with that word? And I'd be like, probably somewhere, but I would really start to think about it. Once something was pointed out to me, I can't stop thinking about it. It's like, I don't know what that says about me, but now I'm focused on it. And if it's annoying someone or, I will be like, wow, that is kind of annoying, huh? And then I'll try to
Yeah.
stop it. But
I used to say, yeah, he goes blah, 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 blah. And then she goes, whatever she said. And I had people in my family, they were like, where'd they go? Where'd they go? And that was enough.
her voice went.
Right.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
It was a hard
But
one.
you haven't said it once today, so I'm impressed.
Thanks. Working on it still at 42, still working on it. Let's talk cocktails briefly, because you do make a lot of cocktails on TikTok. Do you have kind of like summer cocktails and winter cocktails?
That will definitely come into play in terms of how I'm deciding what to make next. But also, I did one that I was really excited about that over the summertime was a grilled pineapple margarita. And that was just an idea that I've been sitting on for weeks. I'm always looking at recipes that are already from well-developed humans that are much more talented than I am online. But I was thinking, I was like deep into grilling this summer, and I thought, okay, I love grilled pineapple, mezcal smoky. What if we grilled pineapple and then muddled that with the smoke of the mezcal? And it was delicious. But I wouldn't necessarily do that in the wintertime. And now that's sort of where this idea came with fall. Speaking of, I was just thinking about Calvados. Are you familiar with Calvados? Because I've never really had apple brandy too much, but I'm seeing it pop up a lot on cocktails, and I'm considering trying that for the fall.
Yeah. So I haven't ever tried Calvados, but apple brandy, especially out here in the Pacific Northwest, there's a lot of cocktails with pear brandy and apple brandy, because we do pears and apples really well. So yeah, I mean, something like with like even like to me, fall and winter is all about whiskey and
yes,
rye whiskey,
for sure, brown stuff,
brown liquor,
just not Pappy.
No.
Oh my God.
I was actually, someone gave me a taste of that at a party, and I said this, I'm like, why?
I know. I felt it in the back of my neck, and I've never tasted something in the back of my neck before. and I thought I was like turning into a werewolf or something. It was not 1 out of 10.
Uh, but I'm
Like you do, and everyone's like, "You do you have any idea how expensive that is?" And I was like, "I don't care. That does not please me. Like, show me your face after you drink it, sir. We'll talk."
I'm also just not. We just recently purchased a whiskey that shall remain nameless, and it is very delicious. But we were
Huh?
told you can sip it. You can sip it. Just maybe one little ice cube. That's how smooth this juice is. You can just sip it. No, you can't.
You can sip it as long as it has bitters and
Right.
syrup and orange peel
A little
and
lemon juice and yeah,
some
no,
chocolate milk. No.
for sure. But I also that's not where my palate is right now. Like when I'm 80, I may be all about that whiskey. Just
You
sipping
just don't
it.
give. No, you're just like, burn, baby, burn. I don't
Right.
care. I'll take whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, no, I hate that, but I don't hate on anyone who appreciates that. I mean, my dad, and my brother love like that peaty Scotch Lafroig.
Hmm.
That is just like, it just tastes like a rotten forest set on fire with like toilet paper. I don't know. I don't, it's not my palate. But I also hated wine when I was 20, 21, and now,
Right.
and now I love it so much. So
Yeah.
there's room for change. Uh, I love to say don't knock it till you try it, but when I tried that, it was not good.
You knocked it
So,
for sure. It's so true. I thought when I was 18, 19, I thought Boone's Farm was the shit. It was so good.
mm, try it now.
It's
See what happens.
disgusting. It's so gross. It's so gross. Sorry, Boone's Hill Farm fans
We
out
love
there.
you. You had a time in our life that we appreciated then, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's fun. It's a fun, it's are you a beer girl?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
all.
don't
You must have a beer out there.
I don't discriminate. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Oregon, so we are super snobs of coffee and beer and wine,
Hmm.
actually. So, oh, that's my
Yeah,
cat.
yeah. Oh my gosh. So
That would
fluffy.
that would be Emmy Grace.
That's that's at the top of my to-do list with my house now is to not get a cat. I feel like I need a companion that I
Yeah.
love. And so if it's not a man, it's gonna be a cat.
In some ways, better.
Less of a hassle.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. She's kind of an asshole. So, I'm sorry. This French 75 is
Mhm.
really pushing this podcast forward. Um, no, I would say, what were we talking about? We were talking about beer.
You're in
Yes. So beer, coffee, wine is really, that's Oregon. I don't know. We do all of those things really, really well. But Bend, Oregon is kind of like Beer Town, USA. I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we have breweries
Is that
in,
where you are?
I am in Southern Oregon. So the Medford, it's like Rogue Valley, which by the way, we were on, the Wine Enthusiast sends out these awards every year, kind of like their Emmys. And Wine Region of the Year, the Rogue Valley, Southern Oregon, where I live, is one of 5. We'll find out in November if we won.
Oh, when can I come visit? That's the serious question of the
Yesterday.
day. Okay, perfect. I'm truly going to come out there. That would be so fun.
I would love for you to do that. We could go taste beer. We could go taste wine. The world's best cheese is right down the street. I'm not
Like
kidding.
your opinion of best cheese or like nominated world's best
No,
cheese?
world's best cheese. It's blue cheese
Okay.
from the Rogue Creamery. It's
Oh my God.
world's best cheese. I think named, I want to say 2020,
I
2019 maybe. Yeah, it's their Rogue River Blue. It's a blue cheese that they get Syrah grape leaves and they steep them in pear brandy and then they wrap the blue cheese in these leaves. And that won best cheese in the world at the competition over in Snooty, France.
I love that. It's like bottle shock, but with cheese.
Yes.
That
Yes.
sounds so good.
So
Wow.
lots of bragging about my beautiful state of Oregon. But yes, we
As
have
you should.
lots of good beer here, lots of amazing wine. But yeah, I do love beer, and I've seen some of your reviews on beers. There's really breweries are getting super creative with their
Right.
craft and
Yeah.
just really experimenting with sours and ciders. It's really exciting.
I agree. And I will honestly, I truly do love an IPA. That's I've just been like between the Chinar and the Amaro and the IPA, like a bitter. I don't know if it's just because I am or just I just like the flavor, but I am a bitter person. However, when I'm choosing a beer to taste and describe on the social media, I will often seek it for more from an entertainment factor. If the label makes me laugh, if it's something that I would never normally try, I will always let that first sip literally be on camera, because I just want to, just make it fun to watch. No one's gonna sit there and watch me sip like I did do the Trillium IPA from Boston. If you haven't been there, you absolutely should. But it's more or less what's actually fun to watch someone try
For sure.
versus what will I like. But I really do love IPAs. I love. I'm not big on stouts and porters. I think it's like that whole coffee. We talked about this last year. I'm still not okay with like espresso martinis and like
Right.
the coffee booze flavor thing going on there.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I would just love to head out to the Pacific Northwest. I went to Seattle once. My girlfriend used to, well, she still lives out there, but she's lived there for a long time and we had a great time. But it's just, not traveling enough, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I definitely feel I'm not traveling enough these days. But I also, what I do love about Oregon is that there's mushroom foragers here. We have ranchers here, very much farm to table, and I know that exists a lot of places, but it truly is a way of life in the state,
Yeah.
which is super cool. I did try a stout. I can't remember the brewery, but it was like breakfast, and it had this maple coffee pancake kind of vibe to it.
Okay.
It was delish. It was way too much for like a whole pint, but it was delish.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like I'll put it in if I get a flight, I'll get one just so I can have
Hmm.
a few sips and say that I did it. And I probably will like the first sip. It's just I could never do more than that without feeling like I'm drinking gasoline. But I think it's for I know you like people love it. So
Right. Yeah. And I love the fact that breweries are getting super creative with that. But yes,
Mhm.
I am a beer girl. I do not discriminate really when it comes to the world of alcohol. I'm willing to try.
I feel like that's why we're really good friends.
Right.
Speaking of,
Okay. I want to wrap up just a little bit. I feel like we
okay.
could just, catch up and chat for a long time.
Just turn the podcast off and we'll chat.
Exactly. Favorite recipe recently, either that you've tried at home or America's Test Kitchen, like something that's really just kind of knocked your socks off.
Um, okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to put this up there, even though I kind of do because it's
Yeah.
so delicious. Um, but oh, this is actually going to sound really horrible because it's my recipe. But so just forgive me for
No, no.
sounding obnoxious. I recently did uh, a, a gochujang a la vodka recipe.
I
So
saw that.
it is insane. And don't get me wrong, this was not like my own creative idea. I've seen things about it online, but I wanted to discover how to make it. So um, you saute scallion whites and garlic, and then you replace the tomato paste with gochujang, which I just love so much. Spicy fermented Korean chili paste.
Hmm.
And then you add heavy cream and cheese, and I cooked it with ramen, and then you sprinkle the top with the scallion greens, And I was so excited about it that, the thing that is a little bit sad about working from home is that I never really get to cook for my friends at work. We'd normally have tastings for this. So when I was up in Boston last month for TV, I did end up taking an afternoon to make it for my teammates, and it went over really well. And I was just so excited to like feed them this comforting, creamy, cheesy, fermenty, spicy dish. Big fan.
Well, it's on your TikTok channel, right?
It is, yeah. It's on the America's Test Kitchen's channel. So
I've similarly like cooked something, usually pasta, and it's so good, and there's no one at home to be like, taste this.
Hello?
Right.
Is anyone here?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it's and that's why there's social media, right? Like here guys. Right.
You can look at it.
This Here's a picture of what I made. Pantry favorites.
Oh, what a good question. 100% Thai curry paste. I have that at all times. I will drown in that someday, I think. I'm big on the pastes. I love tomato paste. I love chickpeas. I'll always have chickpeas in my pantry.
Okay.
I realized that, my refrigerator, now that I've only just moved in for about a month now, it has like everything fermented in it, and that's it. It's like beer and kimchi and sambal and soy sauce. So, big fans of, like, I know we call them flavor bombs often at America's Test Kitchen, but they really are. It's like it's so much more bang for your buck. If you look at the ingredient list of Thai curry paste, it's like 17 things that you just don't have to buy because it's all in this delicious spoon.
Yeah, no, and fermented, that's the way to go. Like, you want fermented things because they are good for your gut. I've been reading.
Yes. I was going to say fermentation gets my motor running, but I feel like that's not an attractive thing to say. But it is the truth. That's me in a nutshell.
Have you tried making kimchi?
I haven't, no, but I know that my dear friend and colleague Joe Gitter is super into fermentation, and it had been at the start of quarantine, and they're working on a cookbook for ATK that's going to be like kombucha and kimchi and all those delicious recipes. And so, yeah, we're excited about that.
I am dying to do kimchi at home, make my own, but I just don't want to die.
That's a valid point. So maybe wait till we have the cookbook so we can tell you exactly all of the things to do to not die, because that's important.
Please, because I've heard they're like, oh yeah, I mean, you have to like make sure it's submerged and do this and do that. Otherwise, this bacteria can grow and it can kill you. And I was like, oh. Okay.
They're like, between the temperatures of and will not live to see another day.
That's awesome. Okay. Favorite tools. Do you have like favorite gadgets, tools?
Yes, I do. I would say a bench scraper is, it's funny. I actually like recently reprioritized my tools because I went into this new kitchen sort of blank. I had my knives and silverware and things like that, but I don't know where the hell all my stuff went from my last place in Boston, but c'est la vie. Microplane. I use that every time I cook for whatever reason, whether it's for chocolate or for ginger or for zest or for whatever. Bench scraper, because I have small hands, and so this helps me. I call it my bear paw. Just helps me collect all my goods and put it quickly into a pot. I was really passionate about the bench scraper and the microplane. I feel like those are two of my favorites.
I'm with you on the bench scraper. I actually just recently discovered that tool on the Chef Show on Netflix.
Oh, fun. Yes.
Because Chef Roy Choi used it all the time. And I was like, oh, I want to get one of those. And now I use it all the time.
Yes, you will always. I'm a big fan of things that do so many things. We call the strawberry huller or like an avocado halver.
Yeah,
Those unitasker ingredients. Big fans of things that you can use more often than not. Recently, it's a really cool thing. I don't. Do you have a ricer,
I
like a
do.
potato ricer? I recently discovered that you could use that to help drain all the liquid out of your spinach when you're like, if you're blanching spinach for like a artichoke dip or what have you, you could just press that through. And also if you're trying to mince a shit ton of garlic, you can just put all your cloves in there. It's like a giant garlic press. I was like, oh, I've always liked the ricer for my mashed potatoes, but
Yeah.
like there are two more things that you can do with it. I
That's a
love that.
game. That's a game changer right there.
There is.
Okay. Pantry faves and fave tools. That's two of my new questions that I'm going to ask of foodie
That's a
types.
really good question. I think that's really awesome. Especially, I mean, I'm not gonna. Well, I might plug more right now, but we just came out with a book at America's Test Kitchen called The Modern Pantry.
Mm.
So it's all primarily focused on pantry ingredients, and it's like upscale food that you never thought you could do with stuff that you probably already have sitting in your kitchen. So I love pantry, and I'm gonna get used to that now that I live alone and cook for one. So
You did write a cookbook.
I did. That's true. I do have a little bit of a backup plan. But yeah, pantry I
Um,
think is
I think
a hot.
it really is because there's so much crap in my pantry right now that I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but you have to figure it out, I guess, at some point. And I'm constantly checking like the expiration date. I'm like, is this still good?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. What's coming up? Anything new? Anything fun? Anything exciting?
Yeah, actually with America's Test Kitchen, we actually just finalized for December. I'll be doing an advent calendar series of kitchen hacks. So from December 1st to the 24th on Instagram and the TikTok, there'll be a 30-second or less hack. I'm going to open a little cute advent calendar with elves and silly things and wear a Santa hat and
Perfect.
just show you 30 cool holiday related hacks to get you through the holidays. So I'm excited about that.
Well, I'm excited about that too. Thank you so much once again for
Thank you.
agreeing to chat with me. We just have so much fun.
I know it's insane. I feel like we are kindred spirits.
Kindred Sam
Spirits.
Block. And for
Yes.
all of those listening, people can follow you on your TikTok channel. They can also
Yes.
follow you on Instagram. And if they follow America's Test Kitchen, they can also see you pop up occasionally there as well.
Please do. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. And don't ask her for feet pics because it's not going to
I
happen.
was going to say that. Just kindly don't request foot pics. Thank you. The single foot. Just
And
one
be
foot.
nice. Those are my words. Be kind.
Right.
Just, yeah.
Well, what did we say last year? Don't be a dick.
Don't, yes.
The end.
You've been listening to Hungry for More, an Epicurean's Dilemma with me, Trish Close. You can watch this podcast and subscribe on my YouTube channel. Just search Hungry for More, an Epicurean's Dilemma. You can also listen and subscribe wherever you like to listen to podcasts.